is Auburn from 34B, and you are watching R360.
Good morning, RedHawks Nation, and welcome to your R360 morning announcements. I'm your host, Mr. Waldner. It is Tuesday, May 26th today, day 36 on the school calendar. Our top story today are your Art 360 submissions for this week. There were a variety of different mediums used to portray James Plett's prompt word for the week, scenery. Let's look at some of these submissions as well as your new prompt word for the next installment of Art 360.
Hey RedHawks Nation, thanks for your submissions, and this week's prompt is animal.
You'll notice students are getting very creative in how they present their art, as Elijah created a Lego landscape to represent scenery. We have two additional Lego related news stories for you at this time, coming to you from Titan and Austin.
Hello RedHawks Nation, this is Titan Johnson, and I'm going to teach you how to build a plane/bird. So, lay two 8x2s flat. Put a 8x2 in the middle. Lay a 10x2 brick in the middle. Put two 4x2 bricks beside it. Put a 6x2 brick in the middle. Then put two 6x2 bricks beside it. Put two 4x2s on top of it. Then put two 8x2 bricks on top of the 4x2 bricks. To finish it off, put a 4x2 in the middle. There, now you have your bird/plane. Bye, RedHawks Nation.
Hi, this is Austin reporting in the playroom of Austin's house. Me and my family have been taking apart and rebuilding my broken Lego sets. And these are all the pieces that we separated. To colors, to specialty pieces, to pieces with stickers on them, to car parts, to accessories for minifigs, to minifigs. And if you come down to my room, you can see all the Lego sets that we've repaired so far. These are the Lego sets that we've rebuilt so far.
Was it a lot of work, Austin?
It was a lot of work. This is Austin signing off.
The Rube Goldberg submissions continue to trickle in. Trickle in, get it? Haha. Trickle like a cup of water being filled by a complex machine. Let's take a look at this one from Jenna Sabrin. Great job, Jenna. There was a student contest in Friday's school newsletter asking students to send in a sentence or two on which of the suggested mindfulness activities help them to relax. Congratulations to contest winner Jamian in grade 2 for submitting his entry as a photo. Jamian will receive the Ottawa Senators in the school box break, and check out the fresh hair he is sporting. No COVID hairdo for him. We have all of the other students who participated in the contest on this prize wheel. Let's spin it to give away 2 additional teams, starting with the Philadelphia Flyers. Denver. Congratulations, Denver. And then we have one more. Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins belong to Isaiah. Congratulations. All right, so we have given away a bunch more teams, and it's worth noting that we skipped over the New Jersey Devils in this break, and that is because they are the premier team to get the 2019-20 rookie class, as they had their first overall pick in the entry draft. The Devils will be given away second last, just ahead of the hometown Winnipeg Jets. Those are all our news stories that we are covering today, but as Janet Stewart promised on Friday, we have the full interview coming from Mr. Cornelsen as we sign off today. This is Mr. Waldner signing off. Have a great day learning from home.
Mr. Lorne Cornelsen sat down with his daughter and current teacher, Mrs. Audra Hildebrand, this past week and recalled his memories from his 38-year teaching career at Rose North School.
It's time for a Rosenort School Blast from the Past.
Good morning, Rosenort School and RedHawk Nation. My name is Lorne Cornelsen, and I used to be a teacher in this school for many years. In fact, I taught in this very school for 38 years, from the time it first opened in the fall of 1968 to when I retired from full-time teaching in 2006. So thank you, Mr. K, for inviting me to do this. But I just want to be clear that I actually was the original Mr. K in the school. But more about that later. My teaching career began as a very inexperienced 19-year-old back in 1961 in a one-room grade 1 to 8 school called Clear Springs, just north of Steinbach. By the way, during that school year, the Toronto Maple Leafs won the Stanley Cup. I just wanted to throw that in for all the sports buffs out there. You know who you are. Even though my loyalties have long since changed to our own Winnipeg Jets. 2 years later, in September of 1963, I returned back to my home community to teach in another one-room school called Pleasant Valley. That's right, that's where the Pleasant Valley Church is right now. It's just a little bit west of where it is right now. And it was just a great place to teach. And I will always cherish the memories of those years. It's where I found myself as a teacher, and also where I met my wife Doris, that very same Mrs. Cornelsen who subs as an EA at the school every once in a while. After Pleasant Valley, there was a one-year transition when all the one-room schools in the area were closed and consolidated into three-room schools. During that year, I taught in the very school that I had attended my growing up years, Rosenhof, which was located where Riverside is now. A new consolidated school, the present Rosenhof School, had been built in the community, and I was fortunate to be hired as part of the first staff to ever teach here. After a while, students started to call me Mr. K. So I offer that up as proof of me being the original Mr. K. However, I think it's cool, and I'm really pleased to have another Mr. K on staff right now. Over my teaching career in the Rosenort area, many important historic events have happened. And this timeline brings back so many memories. During my first year at Pleasant Valley, on November 22nd, 1963, I clearly remember a parent dropping by at school to inform us of the assassination of the President of the United States, John F. Kennedy. We were all stunned. as was the rest of the world. On July 20th of 1969, Neil Armstrong became the first human to walk on the face of the moon. A feat so amazing, many people didn't believe it actually happened. Then there was September 1972. At that time, the school had only grades 1 to 8, and I vividly remember all the grade 5 to 8 students and teachers watching the last game of the Canada-Russia Summit Series, right in this very school basement. What an exciting game, with Canada mounting a comeback in the third period. Then incredibly, Paul Henderson scored the series-winning goal with just 34 seconds left in the game. The basement erupted. All of Canada erupted as we had vanquished the Russian foes. And who could ever forget 9/11? When I arrived at school on September 11, 2001, the teachers already there were standing aghast in front of the TV. In New York, the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center had both been struck by jets flown by terrorists. The whole world was in shock and disbelief. And now we have this virus, this COVID-19, a worldwide pandemic which has changed our lives and the lives of so many others. Throughout time, many major events have changed history, but life has always continued, and so it will be after COVID-19. Over the years that I was on the staff at the Rosenort School, I taught students from grades 4 to 12, but by far the majority of my time was spent teaching grades 7, 8, and 9. I spent the last year of my teaching years in the current grade 7 class, and I have many, many fond memories of those years. As far as subjects go, I've taught almost all of the grade 7 to 9 courses, and a few high school courses as well. During the years I taught phys ed, that was always my favorite one. I loved to interact with students in that setting, and it gave me a totally different perspective of them, and I believe them of me. Of course, coaching was very much part of my DNA, and in spite of the many long days, evenings, and weekends, I just loved it. On the academic courses I taught, I quite enjoyed teaching mathematics, and the literature component of ELA would also be on my list of preferred courses. There are a lot of moments that I will cherish forever, so to pick out one is pretty much an impossibility, but I can share one quirky moment. I had an activity of diversion, one that gave the students a chance to stretch and restore some oxygen, so much needed oxygen to their brains after some very hard work. It was called Do This, Do That. Whenever I would say do this, they would copy my action, and whenever I said do that, they would refrain from the action. If they twitched at the wrong time, they had to sit down. That game evolved in time, and with all the myriad of variations I added, including different languages, it got to the point of being downright rowdy. I remember one time, in my attempt to eliminate them, I had some students standing on the seat of their desks, doing weird hand and arm actions. That meant that I was also standing on my chair, doing the same weird actions. Well, at that moment it hit me. What if the principal, or even the superintendent, would happen to walk by and look into the window? What would that look like to them? Well, my next do this was jumping off the seat, and I don't think I ever did that action again. I could throw out many names of students that I remember and that had an impact on me for a variety of reasons. Academically advanced, athletically gifted, hardworking, giving every ounce of effort to a particular project or game, and being super supportive. But again, for me to pick out a few students from all the students I've had would simply not be fair to all the rest. I'm just so grateful for all the students that worked so hard and played so hard and were so supportive. I am privileged to have been their teacher. Speaking of former students, on looking over the list of the present staff at the Rosenort School, I discovered that 14 staff members have been former students of mine, including 9 teachers and 5 support staff. I think the entire staff of the school is doing a fantastic job in making the Rosenort School one of the best schools, if not the best, in my biased opinion. But the fact that 14 of you decided to come back to work and teach in the same school you attended as students is just fantastic. The experience of co-teaching with a bunch of you and to have had former students help me out in my classes as EAs is priceless, to say the least. I still have strong connections to the school. For one thing, my wife Doris still subs at the school as an EA. I have a daughter, Mrs. H, who is teaching a grade 3 and 4 class, as well as directing the school choirs. Another daughter, Juanita, teaches piano at the school. And then we have a granddaughter, Abby, who is in grade 11 this year. We have loved coming out to watch her and her friends compete in volleyball and basketball, and I hope to do more of that next year. Of course, we have also really enjoyed coming to the school concerts and piano recitals. What am I up to now? Well, till the dreaded COVID-19 interrupted so many things, I still directed an active 45 voice choir in Winnipeg called the Teenagers. No, we're not teenagers anymore, but we are keen on singing. Normally, we practice 2 to 3 times a month and perform up to 10 times a year in a variety of places. So that has kept me busy for much of the time. But we also enjoy going on vacations, and among other things, I like to read, sing, play the piano, go for walks and bike rides. Right now, I'm looking forward to some warmer temperatures so we can get out and do some golfing. And to wrap things up, I'm again reminded of how fortunate I have been for having had the opportunity to teach for so long in this community. I am so grateful for the support from the parents and for all the students I've had, many of whom are now parents or even grandparents. Thank you all so much. I wish everyone the best. Be well, stay safe, and we'll see you around.